Hello and welcome back to art class. Today we're going to talk about a new form of art called mosaics. Mosaics are a wonderful way of doing art that is different than a normal picture. In fact, if you look at the pictures that we're seeing on our screen right now, they're kind of like broken pictures that have been put back together. Some of them are very detailed, and then some of them are just purely design. But what it is it's a way of making art that's a little bit more permanent than just a plain drawing. You'd actually draw this out on the ground or the wall or whatever item that you're putting it on. And then you're going to use little tiles that are called tesserae. Those are kind of like bathroom tiles, only smaller. Or sometimes they just use colored stones that were pretty flat to do the different colors and design work. As you're looking through here, some of them are very old mosaics for floors and walls and ceilings, and then others are a little bit more modern. There's ones that are all over the world. They're not just in one area of the world. Some of them are pictures, as I said before, some of them are designs. Some of them are even part of roads. They can be very big mosaics. Some of them are actually part of walls that were kind of like a replacement or a fixing in the wall, and some of them are just purely for decoration. I'm going to let you look through some of these, and then we'll get started with our project. Alright, let's get started with our project. We're going to be making our own mosaic, so here's a quick look at our mosaic that we're going to make. We're going to make a jack-o'-lantern because of the time of the year that we're doing this. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of do the prep work today, and then next week we will do the more of the cutting and gluing and stuff like that. So there's a lot of prep work to make this go quickly next week. So let's get started. You're going to need a couple things. You're going to need some scissors. You're going to need 2 pieces of paper. You're going to want a pencil, and you're going to want crayons, and then you're going to want either a something like a tub or a little bowl, or you're going to want a plastic baggie. And all these is so you have somewhere to store some pieces of paper so they don't get lost, because you're going to have smaller pieces of paper. So it doesn't really matter. It's better if you have a container with a lid or a baggie, but again, it doesn't matter which one you use. Okay, so let's get started. The first sheet of paper, we're just going to set off to the side real quick. Okay. And what I'm going to have you do is turn your paper side to side like this, and you're going to fold it in half like a book or the hamburger way. Make sure your edges line up as best you can. Okay. Put a nice little crease in it right there, and then open it up. Okay. Next, this is the part that's a little bit hard. You're going to take one side. Let's take this right-hand side. Lift up. You're going to take this edge right here, and you're going to fold it over until it touches the fold in the middle. So I'm actually going to draw a very light line. Oh, you know what? Since I already know what color this will be, this is my fold, so you can see it a little bit easier. Okay, I'm going to you don't need to mark yours. I just marked it so you could see it. You're going to bend it over until it touches. Okay, like that. And then put a little crease like this. We're only doing one side. Then I need you to open it up. And I actually do need you at this time, you're gonna grab an orange and you're gonna draw a line on this fold. Take your time, stay on the fold. Like that. Okay, so over here is gonna be left alone. We're gonna deal with this big squarish area over here. All right, so we need to be able to make our tiles or tesserae. Remember, tesserae are the little pieces that make up a mosaic. And ours are mostly gonna be orange because it is a pumpkin. So I need you to go in and we're just gonna do a nice job filling this in, being orange. I do need the edges to be done, so I like to go this way. But I don't want to, don't be doing that. That's not good. I want you to take your time. You don't have to worry about being super neat, but I don't want any white spaces either, because you know, we are better than that. We are first graders, and we shouldn't be leaving a lot of white spaces. Okay, so here's my orange section. This is gonna be turned into our pumpkin, okay? But we need some other colors as well, so that's why we have this section here. We don't need a lot of it, but we do need some other colors. All right, so I want you to turn your paper this way, and you're gonna need, this is where your pencil comes in handy. Over here on the right-hand side or the left-hand side, you're gonna wanna take about 4 finger spaces and put it next to the edge of the paper. And then you're gonna mark it. So here's my mark. 4 finger spaces, okay? And all I'm gonna do is then draw a line going like this, because we need 2 colors. We need a little bit less of one color than the other. This is going to be the stem of our pumpkin. Now, stems of pumpkins typically are one of 2 colors. If you think about it, they're usually either brown or green. You can have either one. Purple one does not really make a whole lot of sense. So pick a brown or green. I'm gonna pick brown. I got this little tiny piece here that I'll just fill in this section. Okay, so that's gonna be my stem. And then if we have orange for the pumpkin, with brown for the stem, we need something that's gonna light up our pumpkin, and that's going to be yellow. So I need you to find a yellow. Okay, so this is what your paper should look like right this second. Okay, what we're gonna do, let me put my crayons away here so I don't lose any of them, is we're gonna just set that off to the side real quick, and we're gonna swap it out for the clean white one. Clean white one is where you're really gonna need your pencil, because we need to do a little bit of drawing. What we're gonna do here is we're gonna fold it in half again, just like we did before. Put a nice little crease in it, make sure your edge is lined up, then open it up. This is just gonna help us with some drawing. Next, what we're gonna do is we're going to draw basically large C's. One is gonna be like a normal C, one will be a backward C. And we're not gonna draw all the bumps of a pumpkin because it actually will make it a little bit hard to do our little tiles. So what we're going to do is we're just gonna make the outline of the pumpkin. I don't wanna start here at the top because I need to leave room for my stem. Okay? So I'm gonna start a little bit lower, and it's gonna be a C. So I'm gonna draw kind of dark so you can see it a little bit better. It's just gonna be this really big C shape. Then I need a matching one on the other side. Now, if they're not 100% perfect, is that okay? Yeah. Just get them kind of close. Like right here, you can see my mistake. Hopefully you're drawing lighter, because lighter is a lot easier to erase. Okay, so there's our basic pumpkin. We need our stem. Okay? It's not really that hard. It's kind of a warped rectangle. And then we need to do our simple face. Okay? You could do a circle for the eyes. I pick triangles because they're actually easier to deal with the tiles and tesserae that we're going to use. That's why I'm picking triangles. Plus, that's kind of a traditional shape for pumpkin eyes. Okay. Notice I can get about 3 fingers in them, so if you make them too small, that will be a bit of a problem. And then I'm going to make us have an easy half circle smile. And notice my smile is about as wide as the eyes are, because if you make it too small again, it won't look quite right. And then make sure, like mine's got a little close to the bottom, so I'm going to adjust my bottom a little bit so that's not quite so close. So I had to adjust that bottom a little bit. Okay. And the drawing is actually complete. That's all that we really have to do for the drawing. The last thing we're going to do for today is we are going to get our strips ready for coloring. This is where your parents might come in handy for this part. What I want to do is we want to have our strips cut about 1 inch apart, and moms and dads are going to be a little bit better at cutting our strips for us and a little bit more even. So we're going to cut them about 1 inch apart. Made a little snip problem there. Okay, and then I'm going to separate the orange from the yellow, like that. Okay, I'm not going to cut out the yellow right now. There's not really a point, or the brown. I'm just going to keep them as big shapes right now. Then you could just put them in your cup or your baggie. I'm going to just use this cup because it's convenient. And keep your strips all there too. And then just keep it with your, make sure. Just give me a snapshot of, your strips like this, all nice and cut out, and your picture like this, like we have in the previous weeks. Upload it to Seesaw for me, just so I know we're ready, and then next week we will go over how to do the actual tiles and gluing. I look forward to seeing you next week.